Wellbe Health provides high-touch, team-based managed medical and social services to frail seniors. They currently operate PACE, Program All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly, throughout California, and are actively expanding this program to other underserved communities. We worked with Wellbe Health in the fall of 2020 and produced recommendations as part of our Equity Fluent Leadership class. The purpose of this project was to make a strategic plan for an early-stage healthcare company to improve diversity, equity, and inclusion. My teammates will get into each area specifically.
Our interdisciplinary team of MD, MPH, and MBA students from UC Berkeley conducted an in-depth analysis of academic research, business cases, corporate policies and playbooks, as well as qualitative interviews of Wellbe Health team members. From this, we developed concrete evidence-based recommendations that are feasible and scalable for diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, efforts at an early stage company.
These 5 strategic action areas where companies can focus their diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. The first area is outreach. It's common for organizations to fall into the trap of recruiting from certain well-known institutions or feeder schools, but this can severely limit the talent pool the organization is reaching. Particularly for a healthcare organization serving a certain community, building medical rotation opportunities and forming partnerships with local degree programs or schools can help create new pipelines for employees who understand the community they serve. When evaluating the recruitment process, organizations can use data to assess how representative their pool of candidates is compared to the diversity of the available workforce for a particular job. Additionally, they can restructure their employee referral programs to encourage referrals of diverse candidates and increase the likelihood of hiring a minority candidate by implementing a diverse candidate slate requirement. When addressing bias in the hiring process, research shows that structured interviews and evaluation processes help reduce decision-making bias and can thus increase diversity. Secondly, adding unconscious bias as a topic in interview training and requiring interviewers to take an unconscious bias test can help bring awareness of unconscious beliefs about social identity groups. Adopting counter-stereotyping imaging as a training strategy prior to interviews has been shown to be an effective approach in reducing implicit bias because it weakens implicit associations. Most importantly, in order to minimize bias and increase hiring of diverse candidates, companies need to go beyond one-time training and implement system changes before, during, and after the hiring process. Finally, in order to understand a company's baseline diversity and work towards a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive workspace, it's imperative that companies define a plan to track diversity data and set and achieve DEI goals. When tracking diversity data, companies must choose metrics that are sensitive and relevant. They need to track data in a way that is systematic, ensures the privacy of respondents, and exposes inequities that could be hiding within job levels or teams. Even for small companies, it's essential to start diversity tracking early to determine your company's baseline, which can inform goals and policies. All companies, regardless of size, should set measurable and achievable DEI goals and implement action plans to reach these goals. We recommend that company senior leadership or a diversity task force be responsible for reviewing diversity data and setting action plans. However, all employees should be engaged in the company's DEI goals and should be held accountable for these goals, especially at the middle management level.
So in summary, our team would like to leave you with 5 suggestions that are applicable to an organization of any size. First, remove emphasis from historically elite branded pipelines and invest in local partnerships with degree programs and internship opportunities. Follow evidence-based strategies to recruit equitably, create minimum standards, and compare your candidate pool to available candidate data. Commit to unconscious bias training, evidence-based debiasing techniques, and standardize your interview process. Set out to understand your organization's baseline. And set specific measurable goals with a plan for tracking, accountability, and follow-up. We want to really emphasize the importance of tackling all 5 buckets at the same time as this is really the most effective way to ensure that you bring diversity, equity, and inclusion into the culture and growth of your company. However, if you truly can only pick one or two, it's still a step in the right direction of the DEI journey.